What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's full-time reaction to Celtic 4. How many did the Rangers get?
9?
No. 0 for Rangers. I've got Martin and Stuart with me. Martin, way to start with that game today. It was absolutely exhilarating. That first half, it was really entertaining to watch. 100 miles an hour at times, but the thing that really stood out to me was we were so ruthless in that first half.
Yeah.
Going forward, we were brilliant, weren't we?
So I just heard the captain say, briefly I heard his post-match interview and he used the word relentless. That's what we are, we're relentless. And we come into that game and we believe the hype that Rangers are going to compete in the game. And I don't know where the hype came from. I've watched that Rangers team, I know we're not here to talk about them, but just very briefly, I've watched that Rangers game struggle against Livingston. Obviously, get a bad result at Easter Road. Struggle in some of the European games, albeit you have to give them some credit, they eventually got through the ties, but it wasn't convincing. And they've had 1 or 2 reasonable results at home, but for by that, there was nothing to suggest they were going to come here and compete with us. And you look at Celtic and it's the polar opposite. You're absolutely flying. A ridiculous number of goals, conceding very few goals. Our top players getting a wee bit of run the team, coming together. And just, you could sense the momentum coming into today's game. I predicted 5-0 and okay, I was wrong, I missed it by a goal, but what Celtic have got right now is they've got an urgency, right? It's an urgency to whether it be a throw-in, you've seen it with the first goal, I know we'll come to that, right?
Aye.
You've seen it at Tannadice, and people have been saying, oh, it was only Kilmarnock, oh, it was only Dundee United, don't get carried away, you've not been tested yet. Right, we've just been tested, right? Yeah. Start listening to us. That team are absolutely sensational. That's one of the best teams we've seen in our lifetime, and they're just going to get stronger and stronger. How that wasn't double figures today, start to finish, we were absolutely sensational today.
We were sensational, Stuart. Who said that Maeda would start over Abada? Whoever it was, they get no clue what he's talking about.
I think the manager made the right call with that one, Paul.
He did, mate. What do you make of Abada? I guess the first goal's really good because we take the throw in quickly, but Matt O'Reilly's sliding in mid-air and still manages to pick out a brilliant cross for Abada. First time, dreamland.
So Matt O'Reilly, you mentioned, right? Matt O'Reilly was, for me, the best player in the field today. Like, I know man of the match went to Abada, 2 goals, rightly so, like in some ways, but Matt O'Reilly, it was as if he'd been to a maths class and got his protractor and you know all the tools you used to do angles with, right? And that was the kind of passes that Celtic were picking out today. But what you notice about this Postecoglou team, if there's a 5-yard easy pass, 3 other men will make a move off the ball, so there's always an option, and that was what it was all about, and all of the goals were indebted to that. And as you say, great word, Martin, urgency. Urgency, ferocity, it's frenetic, it's constant, it's foot in the pedal the whole time. And I know some people will maybe say Celtic did kind of lift their foot off the gas or whatever. I didn't really see that. And you know what I actually think? I was actually in some ways more impressed with the work we did defensively today. Even though Cholak had that one chance, I think the way that we tucked in and got into the low block and made sure there was no spaces. Now, obviously, there was a bit of space out wide to throw crosses in.
On the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side, particularly. But that was the only vulnerability that I saw. And Rangers, by the way, they have nothing. Right? We might be seeing the banter years coming back here because that is a very, very poor Rangers
so
team.
Dejected at the end, weren't they? So dejected. No wonder. Played off the park, Martin.
Terrible.
1 minute in, the hatchet man sets about our best player, but not a problem. Giacomakis comes on and we stroll it.
I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted because I was so looking forward to Kyogo today, and I think it would have been even more. Giacomakis did perform well and he worked tirelessly. And what I like about him as well is you don't lose the running. You know that Kyogo does a lot of running, Giacomakis does the same. But I was gutted he went off, and you could sense it in the crowd. The crowd were gutted as well. But it was great that we got a goal quite soon after that. The extent of his injury is yet to be determined, although he didn't help himself at the end. He'll try to celebrate and falling on his backside.
Brilliant,
see that moment though, I felt that summed up Celtic Football Club at the moment, because like the joy that Kyogo brings, and he's sitting there with one arm going, yes, yes, yes. Yeah. And then as soon as he falls, Joe Hart's over, it's like lifting him up, are you all right? And like that moment just encapsulated what Celtic have got right now. It's a all for one for all kind of mentality, and it's joyous football.
Yeah. Callum McGregor mentioned that, all in it together, and the post-match that I just seen before we came on as well. There was a spell after our first goal where Rangers were controlling possession. They had that half chance with Cholak where if he gets anything on it, he'd probably have scored. But the thing about this Celtic team is the pace we've got in forward areas, and in transition, we're so dangerous and, as I say today, ruthless. Matt O'Reilly picks a beautiful ball for Jota. He's sprinting in behind, controls it perfectly, first time at full speed, and you think he's took it too wide. McLaughlin's out and he just dinks it. And that, it was so clinical. When we went forward every time today, we looked like we could score.
Aye, we did. And it's, you've not just got one player up front. A lot of teams have got one player up front who's got that technical ability or the that one touch, that one finish. We've got those three. The front three are just sensational. You know, Jota's goal was like Larson at Ibrox. Was it his 50th goal? I think it was.
That's exactly what I thought.
What a player! What a goal! And we don't want to compare Kyogo or Jota to Larson, and it's too early to do that. But the early stage of their Celtic careers suggests that they're going to entertain as much as Henrik Larsson did. Will they be here for as long? Will they score as many goals? Will they bring as much joy to Celtic fans? You know, it's far too early to get carried away. But that's the sort of feeling they're giving us at this very early stage.
Yeah. Too right.
You mentioned already Matt O'Reilly, and he was absolutely superb. He sets up the third one for Abada as well. The thing that really, you also mentioned the defensive work, but the thing about us going forward just now is we're just so strong. We're too strong, and you've seen that today. Martin said, everybody talking about we've not been tested yet. Might have got 5 at Kilmarnock, might get 9 at Dundee United, but it's just Kilmarnock and Dundee United. That was 4, could have been 5, could have been 6. We're too strong.
Too strong. There's a red card in the game. There's with that very, very cynical lunge at the end. There's aggressive intent, and Goldson should walk for that. And that's towards the end of the game. There's a Stonewall penalty denied as well. I've not seen a replay yet, but I'm pretty sure with what I saw with the naked eye that it would have been. It was almost as if the referee was doing his bit to keep it competitive. I kind of felt in that sense. I thought a lot of the 50-50 decisions went Rangers' way, and usually you would think in a Glasgow derby when that is the case, then the result tends to favour in that direction. But we are so much better than Rangers. Rangers, for me today, looked like a slightly more polished Kilmarnock in terms of the style that they approached the game in. They were aiming the ball up to the man up top, trying to feed off the scraps, and the only other thing that they had is if they managed to get the overlap out wide and get a cross in. There was absolutely no sense a midfield cutting through or anything like that. And then on the Celtic side of things, it's the polar opposite. And you're looking at the depth as well, right? We'd say Haksabanovic who came on and looked absolutely glittering in terms of the ability he's got in midweek. And then today, we didn't need him. And I think if there hadn't been the injuries, I think you might have seen him get his bow. Yeah. But what I really like is I like the depth and I like the variety of options in midfield. You know? And we've not even seen the Danish lad yet, other than I'm coming on to say hello at half-time. And what must he have been thinking sitting there? You know? Just sitting in that atmosphere. I know there's obviously a bit of kind of Celtic tradition in his family. You've seen pictures of him as a kid in a Celtic strip. Yeah. We always love to see that. But what's he going to be thinking in that atmosphere? Because, again, the stadium on days like this, absolutely electric.
What's he going to be thinking about? How's he going to get any game time after that? That's what I want to know. Martin, these are some of the best days of your life, isn't it, watching Celtic play football like this? 5-point cushion at the top of the league, early days, but we are playing brilliantly. And I'm going to get carried away, and I know you sometimes do post-match on a day like this. We're going to score 150 goals, we're going to lose 10 goals, we're going to get 110 points. I'm telling you, that team are miles ahead of everybody else in this league, and I can't visualise us getting beat. Will we going to get to beat the Brendan Rodgers run of undefeated league games? No doubt in my mind we will. And that's a sensational team. And you've seen it with the Rangers fans. We're very, very quiet today. I think they maybe sang one song before the game started. The rest of the game, you never heard. You wouldn't have known they were there. Emptied their section at 80 minutes.
Emptied. You've seen all that. I mean, even before that, Paul, even at half-time. Half-time I looked across and I thought, look at all those empty seats in the Rangers end. They knew, and that's a statement. That's what you can tell as well. You know, the empty seats tell you that it's game over. They knew there was no way back. And they're bringing on Alfredo Morelos. Right, I mean that was one of the biggest jokes of the day, right? He's the size of me, right? There was absolutely no chance he was going to impact the game, right? There was no chance, and we were all mocking him when he came on.
It's a great day to be a Celtic fan, to be fair. That's the main thing that I see about days like this. It's like the joy I've been in the stadium and the joy I see in it. It was that moment at the end though for me where Kyogo fell when he was doing the one arm sort of thing, and then Joe Hart going over. It's just like that sums up how special this team is, and then coming behind them just after it, you've got Ange Postecoglou. That manager is bringing so much joy to the football here right now. And I don't know about you guys, I think I've said this on the channel a few times, but I never felt this sense of joy with Brendan Rodgers. This is a different Celtic that we're seeing right now, and I think we need to enjoy these good times because everything in football is transient. You know what I mean? This is a special time, and I mean, Champions League beckoning, right? We've got Tuesday night ahead. You've got to go into it. I mean, obviously we have to talk a wee bit about the injuries. Real blow. Kyogo, I'm pretty sure, looks dislocated to me. He's not going to make it. Don't know about the situation with Starfelt. Obviously, I think he would probably get the nod, judging by Angie's selections. in recent games. So obviously that's the couple of blots in the copybook, if you like, today. But I think the depth in Celtic squad means that we can go into Tuesday night, and what is that place going to be like, man?
Aye, incredible. Martin, you could argue maybe we've still not been tested. We'll get one Tuesday night with the Champions of Europe up, won't we? But what a prospect.
We'll just enjoy everything about Tuesday night. We all wanted that draw. We all wanted Real Madrid to come here. It was one that we hadn't seen in our lifetime, so we'll enjoy the occasion. It's hard to predict the score. I mean, you could get an absolute doing and just accept it because of the Champions of Europe.
I think we will.
I don't think we will. I think most fans I've spoken to have said the same. They think we'll compete in, narrow defeat or maybe a draw. Who knows? But we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy it from start to finish. And what a great result today to go into that game on Tuesday night. And we'll take that momentum into the game and that confidence and that togetherness. And as long as they work as hard as they did today, then we've got a chance. And that's what that team do. I mean, we're debating over the last few nights whether Abada's going to get a start today. Was he man of the match last week? I'm not sure if he was. I think he maybe was at United. He was man of the match today. Yeah. That's your 12th man, arguably, right? I mean, that's the depth that we've got. Sure, that you're talking about.
Aye.
So I cannot wait for Tuesday night. Cannot wait.
It'll be brilliant, won't it?
It's going to be good, and the depth is so important.
It is. Can you pick a man of the match for that today?
Aye, Matt O'Reilly for me. I just think Matt O'Reilly looks like he's got absolutely every ingredient of a world-class midfield player at the moment. I think what he's got is he's got intelligence, and I know they say the good players never look rushed, but he both never looks rushed and looks suave doing it. It's like he's almost moving in slow motion. It's so elegant. Like something strictly come dancing. He's quality, and it wasn't just that. It was his eye for the pass, but as well as his eye and his ability to thread that ball through, the credit has to go to the coaching and the Celtic players for having that ability and knowledge of what runs to make at what times. And you can see it every time Celtic. Once a player moves to the byline, a player makes a run inside to give him an option in front of the 6-yard box, and there's an option at the back post. There's always a variety of options available for the person on the ball. And that's what is so refreshing. And compare that to Rangers. Like, they're sitting there and John McLaughlin's getting able to pass it, so you just gives it to Turnbull. You know what I mean? And that's it in a nutshell. So much better than them today.
That sums it up. Man of the match, mate.
Man of the match, I mean, I can't disagree. I really enjoyed watching Liel today. He's grown and grown and grown. He was good from day one when he came to play for us. Nobody's really criticised him at all. But he's probably been an 8 out of 10. Today he was a 10 out of 10, involved in the goal. He played up top when they had to play up top. He played left, he played right. It's just his decision making, his presence. It is effortless, and it doesn't look like he's ever out of breath. But that's because he's such a clever player. Can't remember what it was I was watching during the week, but they said your best players make the right runs at the right time, and he's that player. It's just that positional sense and clever. There was a time when Rangers were pushing up, and it looked like he was giving them space, but it's just because he's so clever and he knew what was going to happen next. He reads the game so well. I really enjoyed watching him today, and I was in the lounge after the game, and everybody was talking about him. So for me, by a country mile, it was O'Reilly. Yep.
He was breathtaking today. So many good individual performances. What a result as well. 4-0 at Celtic Park, top of the table. We're going to the pub to celebrate. Join us for the post-match pint. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers.